If you're in VR, you can turn your wrist, your left wrist, and then the menu appears and you can mute it, or you can pull up your tablet and mute on the top right corner.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, Sophia, you are on.
I keep coughing, so I'm keeping to myself over here.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Well,
I have a projected voice, I'm assuming, Karen?
Yes, you do. You have it's 3D voices.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia, part of the XR women community for the past 3 years as well. Today we have a very special guest, Patricia Echeverria. Oh my gosh, I got this right before. Echeverria Liras.
Yay!
Thank you. Who will be talking about human rights and XR narratives alongside her host, Lisi Linares. And we want to thank Wendy Sherman as well for helping to organize this very special talk today. I believe Karen had already mentioned this, but please do make sure that you are muted if you are not speaking. And at this time, nobody should be speaking because we should be listening to Patricia today. And we just want to share a disclaimer that all presentations and opinions and views shared by our guest speakers are the opinions of those guests and may not represent the official views of XR Women, but we invite anybody to the stage to show how technology has the potential to lead peaceful collaboration and empathy for all of humanity. So we're very much looking forward to hearing what Patricia has been up to in helping to implement XR for Good initiatives. So we are in a number of platforms. If you haven't yet joined our Slack channel, please do. We have at the bottom of every newsletter that goes out every week, there is a button to join Slack. I know there's a few newcomers in the room today, so please make sure you do join Slack because our community is very active there and sharing knowledge and collaboration and job opportunities, and it's a good place to network with like-minded individuals. We want to thank Engage for hosting us in Engage for our weekly meetings, and you will, throughout the time that you'll come weekly with us, you'll start to explore new worlds and new environments with us, which you will have the honor of being able to witness today, because we are going to head to a new room. And then if you haven't seen our XR Women Museum in frame, I encourage you to check it out, because Jenna and others have done an excellent job of documenting everything that our community has done over the past few years. And it is very impressive, to the point where we've had to actually grow the space because we've done so much. So please do check it out. It's framevr.io/XR Women Museum. So a couple of updates that have happened over the past week or so. Julie Smithson, our co-founder, has spoke at the Global XR Community Conference and spoke specifically about our XR Women community. And there is a YouTube link that will drop in the general Slack channel for you guys to hear. But Julie, if you would like to say maybe a couple words about what you were talking about and any highlights of the conference in general.
Sure. Just a quick moment. I took about 35 minutes on stage last Thursday. I had a keynote and presented XR Women Unleashed, and it's on YouTube. You can go and take a look. But there's some other, not just myself. There's amazing presenters. I know there was quite a few XR women already presenting the next day, but it was a full 2 days of learning from the Global XR Conference. And I highlighted the work of our amazing XR women community. I'll be honest with you, I was surprised at the end. And if you watch the video, you can see the reaction of the hosts where they were like, I had no idea there was this many women working in XR. And I felt like, what, are you kidding me? Anyways, that's the reality, guys, is that the world does not even comprehend that our community and women alone are so involved in this space. So congratulations. I think we made a big impact. We have to continue and doing these, stage presences about what we do and sharing the names and pulling in our allies to support us was the mission of that presentation. So take a look, share it around. I think now share it around so that people know that there's women working in this space and doing all these different things around the world. So I'll stop there, but it was an honor to present on behalf of our community, and hope everybody uses that resource to discover the amazing things being done in this world by our XR women.
Yeah, that's awesome, Julie. Thank you for representing us so well. And part of the work of XR Women is to showcase that there is a big community of women in XR in this industry. So to be put on stages not only as individual, women as part of this community, but leaders of XR women, just to show that there is an abundance of people working in the space, and there are communities built around it, are very helpful to help lead people to the right resources, so we can provide them with really capable and knowledgeable women to help with whatever projects they're working on. So thank you. Okay. Oops. So OpenAI hosts their first conference, and it's a Dev Day conference. And these are a couple of the new things that they had announced, just new additions and improvements, including a GPT-4 turbo model that's more capable and cheaper and all those things. And I know Jenna had explored a little bit on it yesterday. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of capabilities that has to offer. There's a new assistance API to make it easier to build assistive AI apps, which is super cool. And then multimodal capabilities with the integration of DALL-E 3 and text to speech as well. So they have more on what that day covered on their website. So I encourage you guys to go check it out. So on the 15th, next week, we have our third annual XR Woman anniversary for our birthday, and we've decided this year to do a world hop where we are showcasing. I believe we have a handful. We have like 5 or 6 worlds or something like that are going to be open during that day, so we can explore the work of some amazing artists and builders and creators in XR. So we look forward to announcing that and giving you guys more details on that, and kind of a schedule of events for that day. But that is definitely one that you won't want to miss.
Yeah, can I jump in for 2 seconds?
Yes,
I'll jump in and just give instruction on this one, just so everybody knows. If you're going to be joining us next week, you still have time to submit your world. The links there, we'll drop that in the Slack channel today in the general, just to make sure if you know anybody that we want to go and visit. The itinerary itself, we will have that ready. We're going to be working on it this week, so we're going to post it by next Tuesday, and then we're going to meet here first on the 15th at 12. Make sure everybody's got it, and then we're going to start our world hop together from there, and we'll have a detailed agenda with the times and the places that we're going to try and travel with. Find your travel buddy. Maybe you can pair up beforehand so that you've got somebody that is, you can meet and you can go through. So it's going to be exciting. We're going to spend the time just learning about these different worlds. And just as Sophia said, it'll be a great day to celebrate our 3-year birthday.
Sophia, can I jump in real quick too?
Sure.
I had this problem this morning, so I just want to bring attention to the time too, because I think it's 9:45 Pacific time, right? Instead of 8:45.
Yeah.
Just be mindful, because I messed up on that this morning, the time change.
So there's a
Christine,
zone
that's not,
in North
it's-
America. No, there's a zone in North America that hasn't changed times from
Yeah.
last weekend. You know, Saskatchewan
Yeah,
is
I think
one
that's
place.
the thing. Right.
Yeah.
And I think Arizona is one of them, Christine. So I think that
Okay.
people in most of the people in the Pacific time zone it will be 3 hours behind the Eastern one, which
Okay.
that should be 8:45.
Should put a mountain time on our next slides, and just to make sure
we try to be minimal just because it takes up so much space on those slides.
Yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
to to put them all on there, but so we try to do a range.
Okay.
Thanks,
Yep,
Dave.
great.
Thanks, daylight savings time.
Yeah, thanks for calling that up. Yeah. How confusing. But in VR, we can be everywhere at any time, and time kind of stands still, right? So that's the beauty of it. Okay. On the 22nd, we will not have an event, and it's going to be close to that to Thanksgiving for Americans, for US. So we're going to be taking our break for that day. So it's a day to be thankful. Okay, following that, we will have Candices Metadai Williams, who's a VR enthusiast and futurist. We are also letting people know that there is a South by Southwest Pitch Fest happening, and the deadline to enter is November 12th. So make sure to check that out and submit. And if you have any questions regarding that, please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to put you in touch with the right people. One sec. Okay. And then just mark your calendars for Wednesday, January 31st, right here and Engage. We are actually hosting an XR Women Business Showcase and Pitch Fest ourselves. And more details will come on that. If you're on your computer, you can scan this QR code to get more information. But we will be posting more information on that as we develop those details. But we will be giving a cash prize, and the goal is to connect creators and people with that are doing amazing things in XR and have incredible projects and capabilities and solutions with other companies and collaborators to further your efforts, really. So if you would like to be involved in this at a deeper level, please do reach out as well, because this is going to be a big initiative on our part. And I don't know if Robin or anybody else would like to say a few words on this, but you're more than welcome to if you'd like to. Okay. All right, let's get on with our main presentation. Patricia Echeverria, Liras, along with Lisa Linares, who's going to be heading this conversation with Patricia. We're going to be heading into a different space after this for this panel or fireside chat. And we're going to start with a video that was provided by Patricia. And we want to thank Wendy Sherman again for organizing this with us. All right. Oops.
Okay,
right,
Sophia, give me
Karen.
one moment, and I will get us over there. Please give me just one moment, and I'll get us there.
Awesome. And thank you again to all the newcomers who decided to join us today. I met a couple of you. Just hang tight. Karen's going to transport us to a different room for the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
With a hip hop, a hip to the hip hop, stop a rock to the bang bang, from the south the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you
Okay, so I'm going to give up my seat, and Lisi, this is going to be your seat. And Patricia, if you can sit on the sofa here. Yeah, Lisi, you may take my seat, and I will find another one. Oh my goodness, standing room only in here today. Okay, here, I'll sit between you two. Oops.
Okay.
We're there. Okay. All right. And Lisi, do you know how to take a seat there, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to take a seat.
Okay. And Sophia, you're going to do an introduction, correct?
Yeah, well, I have the
Am
video.
I sitting? I thought I was
No,
sitting. Am I
Lisa, you're
sitting?
not sitting yet. Not
No,
sitting
you're not
yet.
sitting.
Hold on. Seated mode. It doesn't want to seat me.
No. Lisi, you need to point at the seat and and click on it. Point at the chair that you want to sit in
Oh, that's right.
and sit on it. Yes, right. This is yes.
Come in.
Maybe you need to move away from it a bit first,
Yeah, I would move away.
so that you can approach it better.
Hang on. Oh, nah. Come on. Hang on. I got to go back into full track. What? Oh my!
Can we?
I'm drowning. Okay, hang on.
I think we can auto seat everyone. No, oh no, but at least he won't be in the right place for it.
We won't.
Hang on,
Yeah,
hang
she
on.
might not be there.
Okay, hang on. Why won't? Hang on, please. I must sit down.
Why don't you aim for the couch next to Patricia instead?
Okay.
You see it's far, like try that side.
Okay.
Maybe that'll work.
Hang on. It's because. hang on.
Sorry, but
Hey,
this is funny.
don't mind me.
This is really funny.
This is your pre-show, everybody.
Really?
Lisi squad.
For
Like,
real.
I'm not
For
too sure
real.
what's going on here.
For real.
Oh my god.
Hang on. I don't
Normally
know why
we're a
it's
little
not
bit more
letting me-
serious at the beginning of our shows here, Lisi.
Oh, come on now. We're
This is
building
lightening the mood.
This is
for
why we
what
do
we're-
rehearsals in
No,
advance.
this is wild.
This is why we do rehearsals. Dun,
Right?
dun, dun, dun. Hold on. Why won't it let me? It's so
Lacey,
weird.
if you point the teleporter and press the button and you aim generally at the arc of the seat, it should say sit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I've done in the past, but it's not letting me. It's been glitching all morning, which is why I changed my body and everything. Hang on.
It's happened to me
Maybe
before.
you need to recenter yourself. Press and hold
hang
your
on, let me-
Oculus button down and see if you can reset her. Might be confused.
Let's see.
You just came down in height a second ago, so maybe you can repoint back at the chair.
Okay, let me see. Okay. All right. Is it too distracting if I'm like this?
Come back to what you were doing just a second ago. Stand up
probably
again,
just stand up.
and then sit. Yeah, stand up and do what you were just doing a second ago, and then we'll take it from there. Not like that.
If you can't
Hold on,
figure it
hold
out, just
on.
then just
Okay.
maybe stand, please.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. I don't even know how she's getting into that position right now.
I know. It's because for some
Okay.
reason it's glitching.
Just, I would just stay there. Just turn around. Yeah.
All right. Are we doing this? Is this good?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Screw
Okay.
it.
So,
All right.
a quick introduction from the bio that I have. Patricia is a multidisciplinary artist. She runs the Office for Public Therapy Politics, and it's a new media and documentary production studio. She's directed and produced international projects, including a public therapy tour across Palestine with A.M. Katan Foundation, Outside In, a playback performance with the Freedom Theater from Jenin, Parallel Utopias at the Korean DMZ with National Geographic, In This Land with SAT, NYU, ITP, and the Venice Biennale College Lab. And her film, Remember This Place, recently premiered at the Venice International Film Festival. Congratulations, Patricia. And I do have a video that you provided that I'm going to play now. and then I'll let you all take it away, okay?
Yay!
All right.
On December 9, 2022, we visited Arakib, a Bedouin township which had been demolished more than 200 times since 2010. That day, the Elduri family was being forced to evacuate their home once again. Saba's daughter Arakib was cleaning out the kitchen. Men were carrying furniture out of their home. Grandmothers were being evacuated. What we were there to record was happening in real life.
لل 2014 هم بيهجروا فينا من منطقتنا اللي كنا عايشين فيها لسياج المقبرة أو بنا أو قاعدين سجن. لما يجوا يداهمونا قليل في النهار أو شيء بننجبر نفوت عند الأموات نحكي مثل الأموات.
Although journalists, documentarians, and activists had previously visited and recorded stories of Aragib's residents time and time again, on December 9, 2022, their home was still under threat. Sometimes the process of telling a story can tell us more than the story itself.
It was very hard for me to see how normal it became for the people. Like, how come that the house, which is the most safe place for a human to be at, like the man when he digged the cave, he did it to feel safe, not to feel luxury. And they don't feel even safe in their house. So what is a house? Like, what is it for them? It was very hard for me.
In 2019, I looked for activists who could tell a clear story about the homes that were threatened to be demolished daily in Area C of the West Bank. Instead, what I found were multiple realities which could not be summarized into one clear story of home. I visited the communities of Khan al-Ahmar, Kasarat, Wadi Abu Hindi, Sea Level, Jabal el-Baba, then Lagia, Arakib, Rahame, Abu Grenat, and many more. Everywhere I went, I heard stories about a home that was threatened. This is a story about home, but it's also about the journey I took to tell the story of a home that is not mine, and what happens when we are lost in translation, because the story we are trying to tell does not belong to us, and we find gaps in perception, then the realization that we cannot possibly understand or convey the full reality of another. This is a story about home and what happens when it is threatened, but it's also a story about nature and what happens when the natural environment is co-opted, stretched, and bent to fit the colonial imaginary. As Edward Said once wrote, none of us is outside or beyond geography. None of us is completely free from the struggle over geography. That struggle is not only about soldiers and cannons, but also about ideas, about forms, about images and imaginings. All that is left of this journey are fragments. Fragments of spaces, memories of lost homes, and visions of a transformed landscape.
إهداء لأجدادي وجداتي.
Countless words recorded, which cannot possibly be translated, to convey the multiple realities
أنتم أصحاب
that
الصوت
exist in this
الواسع
place.
وسعة الطاقة.
Wow, that was powerful. Patricia, welcome. Everyone, welcome, Patricia. Patricia, you're clearly an up-and-coming member of the XR community using emerging technology to tell stories. Can you tell us a little bit about the technology you use to tell the story and what an impact that technology used to tell your story?
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me. It's great. I think this is my first time speaking in this format, so I love it. So also, I just want to give context. The video shown is a behind the scenes video, which shows both material from the field, like visual material from the field, as well as material from the actual VR experience. So the VR experience that we recently completed a few months ago is a photogrammetry experience, 3D VR, that's 25 minutes. And the main kind of processes that we worked with were photogrammetry, 3D kind of reconstructions, as well as some environment design based off of the real environments. And the idea initially, I started this project in 2019, and the idea was very much to use immersive technologies to digitize, especially spaces and homes that were threatened to be demolished, as well as to digitize the fragile cultural heritage of communities that are currently threatened due to colonization, due to industrialization, due to several number of factors. So the idea was to use immersive technology to digitize, and I went through a number of residencies where we were using those types of 3D models, bringing them into the metaverse. And what we just finished was, I guess, kind of like a culmination of a lot of that work that resulted in this 25-minute documentary. I hope that's clear. Let me know.
And why?
Mm-hmm.
And it is clear. And why did you feel like VR would be the perfect medium to be able to tell the story accurately or as closely as you'd like to?
I arrived to the West Bank in 2019 through an art residency, and I was really inspired. I always really liked the Mexican director Alejandro González Iñárritu, who had, I think it was 2017 or 2018, when he made Carne y Arena, which was a immersive installation that he made. Yes, I love him. So I had always really loved his work. And so I think that experience he created to demonstrate or to express the experience of immigrants crossing the border from South America to North America was very impactful for me. So I think even before arriving to Ramallah, where I was supposed to do an art residency with Catan Foundation, kind of from the beginning, I already thought I was interested in doing VR. I didn't realize how complicated it would be, I have to say. I came from an architecture background, so I was comfortable and familiar with 3D modeling, but less so with gaming engines. I just was less familiar with gaming engines and just gaming in general. The gaming world. I never was a gaming geek, except for when I was very little. But yes, I think so. That was one. Iñárritu really inspired me, and the other reason I wanted to do it in VR was because when I arrived to the West Bank and experienced life there, I felt that it was a very visceral experience, that I had read a lot about Israel-Palestine previously, but the experience of physically being there and experiencing life under military occupation was very powerful. It really impacted me. I couldn't have imagined what it was going to be like before. So I felt like it was very important to somehow convey or translate this feeling of kind of claustrophobia, this feeling that the space is shrinking. Those kind of, I guess, those two sensations were so strong that I thought that VR was the best medium to convey that kind of, I guess, the relationship between the body and the landscape that you feel very viscerally and very powerfully there.
So you put together this very strong piece, and you have your debut at the Venice Film Festival, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to actually get this to an audience. What happens when you create a powerful piece like this in VR, which is still very fringe? Thank goodness Apple is now getting us to a more mainstream. We have Meta, we have Vive, we have all these headsets and different platforms making VR more accessible, but we're still dealing a lot with how to get it to the mass audience. Tell me a little bit about, or tell us a little bit about, what it takes to actually take this piece and start bringing it to the audiences. You're currently at the Geneva Film Festival. Thank you so much for taking time out of promoting the film to be here with us. Film, it's a movie. I hate talking about film when it comes to VR because there is no celluloid, but that's neither here nor there. In any case, please walk us through what it is to take a piece like this into the audiences and turn people on to what is the future of cinema.
Well, I think with this project, we're still very much figuring out what the best path for it is. But right now, we're taking it to film festivals. We also have it at a museum called the Media Majlis in Qatar. It's there until March on exhibit, at an exhibit called Metawatt, which is about the metaverse. And, so I guess there's kind of three branches: film festivals, then museum, gallery exhibits, and then kind of educational sort of tour around different universities and schools. I think because this project is also very much about human rights, about social issues, the idea is not only to bring the actual VR experience, but to complement it with either events that are raising awareness about social issues. So I would say that those are kind of the three main categories or areas that we're focusing on. Yeah.
That's a great point, and it's something that we like to talk about here at XR Women, about how these technologies can really change the world and bring awareness. And with pieces like Remember This Place, it's a perfect intersection of taking emerging technologies and telling these profound stories. I want to ask you a little bit more about the technology you used and what devices were pivotal in getting the story told and actually capturing what you wanted to capture.
The processes themselves were quite low tech, more so than I initially wanted. But they were low tech because we were working with communities that sometimes were not even connected to electricity grids running on solar or, so mainly we used photogrammetry. And I think we also there was a moment where I said, do we actually go and scan and use an actual scanner so that we can have greater precision with the reconstructions? And we decided to kind of keep the processes a bit more low tech, mainly because of the kinds of environments we were working with. Oftentimes, I was taking photographs of the communities and there were like children running around, pretty kind of chaotic situations. Aragib, which is the tents that you see in the video, that community was being evacuated the day we arrived to photograph. the whole family was packing up that day. So, you know, I think oftentimes we just ran into unexpected, chaotic situations given the context. So yeah, we used just photogrammetry, and I did a few volumetric videos and only one of them made it, but the volumetric was, done in the most basic kind of simple way. There's just one volumetric in the end, in the final video. And then we worked with Unreal Engine. Mm-hmm.
Where do you see Remember This Place going? Like, what is the end goal?
I think the end goal, well, on the one hand, there's engaging with a public or an audience in Europe and in America, maybe Asia, just engaging in a way that allows us to raise awareness about some of the social issues that we're speaking of in the project. And also inversely, to go back to those communities and have them continue to participate in these processes. I think on the one hand, we have a product, like a final product that we're able to take to festivals, which is great. It helps to raise awareness, to have a conversation starter. And on the other hand, something that I think is really important is to be able to go back to those communities. And I specifically worked with 3 Bedouin artists an artist, an architect, and a poet. And they're already working to digitize their communities and different areas. So the idea would be to continue to kind of reinforce the use of these technologies within the communities, not just to have someone from the outside come and help them digitize, but to really bring these tools into these places. That was one of the reasons I wanted to work within communities that were relatively marginalized outside of the grid, because it's important for them to have access to this technology. So one of the intentions that we have as soon as we can is to go back to the places. I mean, I ended up visiting so many different communities, but to go back, to bring them the VR equipment, to show them the work so they can be exposed, so they can understand the relevance and the impact of these technologies. And Lubna and Ruba, who were a part of the project, they've already, just by participating, are already kind of taking up, different types of tools to, like, they're implementing more digital processes into their work in the field, which is really great. So I guess it's kind of 2 ways. On the one hand, bringing the stories out to the world, and then also going back to the communities. And, whether we do workshops or just even bringing the work back to continue to motivate the communities to do this work there.
What are some of the reactions you're getting from the film festivals?
Well, it's so funny because I feel like I talk to different people and different, it's such a subjective individual thing. And I think, we're dealing with Israel-Palestine, which is a very polarizing topic. And we live in an increasingly polarized world, which is frightening, not just within this context, but so many other contexts everywhere. So I think, within this context, what happens is very automatically people have their own opinions or viewpoints. And, the intention of this whole project to begin with was not to talk about sides, not to talk about one or another, but to talk about human issues that were here in this place without getting into the politics. And I actually didn't even want to say that it was about Israel-Palestine just in the beginning. So I think obviously the situation, the world is responding to this topic differently now, and many people are, very, very worried and very concerned. There's a kind of hysteria about this particular topic. I think the film, the way that it's made, is very nuanced. It seeks to humanize and to talk about human stories. So I think anyone who sees the project, what the kind of feedback that I've heard of people watching the project is just that they're impacted on an emotional level. That's the main feedback that I've been hearing. It's been interesting to be in Geneva this week. I was on a panel yesterday about war and peace. And, I think, I guess it's hard to summarize how people respond to it, but after watching the VR experience itself, we have gotten really good feedback, and people seem to be very moved by it. It is intense, which I think that's a good result. I'm happy about that result, that people are moved by it when they watch it. Yeah.
What
heard,
has?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, go on.
Yeah, no, when I was in Venice, I'm just remembering when I was in Venice, I was talking to a lot of the volunteers who were showing the piece to the public, and I was asking them, like, what are they saying? And a lot of people just said, oh, that was really intense. That some people came out crying. So, which I think, yeah, that was one of, the outcomes. And I think people might respond to it differently now. I'm not really sure.
Well, VR is definitely a way to get a reaction out of people because you're literally putting them in that space. So,
right.
Now let me ask you this: what has this done for you creatively? Like, while you were working on this piece and understanding how this technology can make your vision so clear and make your vision such a reality because you have accessibility to so much, what did that do to you creatively? And furthermore, how has that now inspired you to push yourself and see what's the horizon beyond Remember This Place?
I think it was really interesting to explore the creative technology because I had a very different idea of what was possible beforehand. One of the greatest challenges we had to work with is that we were working with photogrammetry. We were very interested in having kind of a high fidelity image, and then really the main challenge, which is kind of like a silly, very simple thing, was optimizing the images for performance. It's so basic, but I think we were able to find some interesting solutions. But that was the greatest challenge. That also allowed us to, I guess, to reconceptualize and to imagine the project differently. There were so many different ways of imagining the project beforehand, and then in the end, some of the solutions we came up with simply because of the limitations, the limitations of image and performance. It's a 3D VR experience, so it's running on a PC. It's not optimal for distribution. But we decided to opt for just something that was higher quality in terms of the image, the image fidelity. And we did that mainly because we knew we were going to exhibit in a museum. So it's been an interesting learning experience, Now I'm kind of regretting it, thinking, oh, maybe we should have optimized it all much more so we could just export to Oculus too.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Now that you have this under your belt, are you thinking, okay, my next time at bat, I'm going to do it like this, and maybe I'll explore this avenue? What has evolved inside of you as you start thinking about your next step as a VR auteur?
Yeah, I think right now the next piece would for sure be designed for better distribution, I would say. I also have to say that I think I'm someone who's I'm interested in technology, but I don't feel tethered or married to one particular process or tool. So the next, like one of the projects that I'm working on next, it's about the metaverse and it's about crypto, but it's a 2D documentary. So I think I'm always interested, I guess, more conceptually. So I think I will do a VR, I will do a VR project only if the subject matter calls for, if it requires this type of, I guess, of format, right?
Do you want to
and
give us
so-
a little? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah. I do have actually some 360 videos that I might do something with animation in 360, but, you know, I also try not to take on too many projects. But yes, in the future, definitely with VR, I would definitely optimize just to be able to take it to as many places as possible. And it seems like Oculus 2 is the best solution right now, but who knows in, you know, however long it takes to finish the next project.
Do you want to give us a little teaser on this documentary about the metaverse and cryptocurrency?
Yes. So I actually became very involved. I wasn't into NFTs or crypto beforehand, but because I was interested in dealing with the metaverse in terms of digitizing some of these spaces, bringing them into the metaverse. So I became interested in that conceptually. And then I arrived, after being in the West Bank for some time, I arrived back to LA, which is where I grew up. And I remember, actually, I was looking for financing for this VR project. And I talked to a guy who works with the UN, and he's worked a lot with VR. And he had also worked in Palestine. So he suggested getting into NFTs a few years ago. So I was like, okay, getting into NFTs, I found this game called Wolf Game, which was a play-to-earn game. So the documentary just talks a little bit about that, about the relationship between it's I don't know how to describe it right now, but basically just talking about the relationship between crypto and the real physical world. And I'm still working in the West Bank, working with shepherds. So it's basically drawing two very, very different realities together into one visual universe, which is the universe of the shepherds in real life, and then the universe of these virtual crypto sheep, and how conceptually both of those universes interact.
Crypto sheep. I like that.
Yes.
So what is after Geneva? What's the next film festival for you? What's the tour going on?
So it is still, there are some lined up, but I guess I can't I can't say anything right now. But yeah, we have some film festivals aligned in the next few months. It just hasn't been publicized, so I don't know if I can speak. But
okay. So you don't have anything slated, but something is coming up.
yes, something is coming up.
Okay, cool. So we'll be telling everyone to keep tabs. I'm sure with XR Women, we'll be letting everyone know where you're going to be next. And we'll make sure that everyone keeps close tabs on remember this place and its next stop.
Also, I don't know if I can say, so we have an Instagram where we're posting kind of the journey of the project. So the
Please
Instagram
share.
page, it's rememberthisplace.vr. And we also have a website, although I would say that, the website is inthisland.org. That's kind of the umbrella project. But the Instagram is the place where we're putting kind of the latest updates. And so, right now we're in Geneva, and as well as the Media Majlis, and we'll be posting very soon about future places. And if you have any places, educational, galleries, museums that would be interested, also please let me know. Would love to know.
Amazing. Well, now you're officially part of the XR Women community, and we love to take care of our community. So we're always exchanging information. So you tell us what's happening, and we try to spread it around as much as possible. Together, we're stronger.
Thank you.
Well, we're reaching the conclusion of this wonderful moment here. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, I encourage all of you to see the project once it's available, I suppose. But yeah, feel free to reach out to me. You can look it up on Instagram or through the website inthisland.org. and happy to explore any opportunities that we might have to bring the project to different places. As I said, yeah, our focus at the end of the day is educational and about raising awareness. So there's, there's different kind of places that we can take it to for that purpose outside of the festivals and the museums. So
Thank you for bringing that up, because I do want to ask you about where you could find a place for Remember This Place, whether it's Metastore or another platform where people could actually experience it with their headsets.
This is in progress. We're still trying to figure this one out.
Okay, cool.
Sorry that hard answer. I wish I could tell you go here and see it, but this is what happened.
That's fantastic. It's beautiful to see a project like getting its legs, because we all witnessed it happening, and it really harkens back to the beginning of cinema in general, where nobody really knew where it was going, and together the audiences helped to build what we now know as Hollywood. So we're kind of there again. And thank you for being a pioneer in this beautiful land of VR cinema.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for being here. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
What a great conversation. Thank you.
So now do we get to dance?
Still haven't figured out how to sit down.
I'm not sure.
I know. It's been glitching all day. It's because I'm in an old school Quest, but it's okay. I'm waiting for the Apple Vision Pro. Rock and roll. Yeah.
Thank you so much for presenting today, Patricia. Appreciate your work and your time. And it's great to have these open conversations where building more awareness around empathy of humanity and what others are going through. So thanks to our audience today to create a safe space for Patricia to share this. And I guess the message moving forward is more peace and humanity and using technology for good for humanity. So thank you for all the work that you did towards this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me space.
Have you ever spoken to Nani de la Pena at all? I know she loves VR journalism, and she's a major player in the space, and I'm sure she would be interested in hearing what you're working on.
Absolutely.
I haven't spoken to her, no. If you know her, would love to be connected.
Can somebody make was that Deirdre that said that?
Yeah.
I think that was Deirdre.
Yes, Deirdre. Just reach out to me and I'll do an introduction.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. So Deirdre, where's Deirdre Lyons? Is if you don't know her, connect with Deirdre. Hi, honey.
She's right behind you.
If you connect with her on LinkedIn, then she can do an intro. So it's Deirdre Lyons. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate the suggestion too.
Yeah, really interesting work. Look forward to seeing where it goes.
Yes, thank
Absolutely.
you. Hopefully we can take it to a U.S. city near you very soon.
Yes, can't wait. Can't wait to see this. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, it's 1:00, everyone. I have a meeting to jump to. Thank you, Lisi, for also hosting today and being our fireside chat. And thanks everybody else for joining. So have a great day, everybody.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
See you
As
next
always, you
time.
rock. Bye.
Thanks, Lisi. Thanks, Patricia.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.